Hey, Dan here. I'm sitting here with Lee Rust, who's the founder of Safety Line Jaluzi, which is winning awards all over the country. Lee's also the 2019 Young Entrepreneur Trailblazer of the Year winner. He's also just been recently ranked top 20 entrepreneurs in the country under 40. He's also won the 2018 Manufacturing Young Entrepreneur category and nominated again in the construction industry this year. So he's got a pretty full cabinet of trophies at the moment, and over the last few years I've sat and watched his business grow incredibly in our short time of knowing each other. But I think his story is relevant to businesses who potentially are considering remote staff or scaling at all, and how to achieve success. So mate, thanks for a quick chat. Looking forward to diving into Safety Line Jaluzi and your story.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Pleasure, mate. I feel like Anchorman here. Firstly, tell us about Safety Line Jaluzi. What's the business? What do you guys do?
So Safety Line Jaluzi, we're a louver window manufacturer to the construction sector. But I guess our system is quite different to normal louvers on the market. We're quite niche and unique in our performance ratings. We're the highest performing louver in Australia, if not the world, in all metrics of wind, water, noise, and thermal properties. So yeah, that's basically what we do. We supply high-end louver windows to the construction.
So tell us about your team size here. What's your Australian team size look like at the moment?
So we have about 40 team members in Australia. Obviously being manufacturing, it's heavy, predominantly manufacturing staff in factories, with office and then sales and marketing based around the country. So we have a sales office in Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne, and soon to open in New Zealand this year as well.
Tell us, mate, so obviously the last few years you've gone through some pretty rapid growth. Tell us the problem initially that you were facing locally that kind of led to the conversation that you end up having some remote staff.
Yeah, so we were growing at a rapid pace and having 3 BDMs in Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne. Their biggest sort of hamstring was admin and doing the quotes and getting the quotes out on time and in full to our clients. And that was what was really restricting them in actually growing the business, what a BDM was meant to do. So we had to look locally for sort of people with QS qualifications or estimators in our realm, and the sort of people that were here weren't really exactly what we wanted, and the cost-wise was also an issue. So that's when we reached out to Dan and the AS White team and had to look for some options for, I guess, highly skilled and qualified staff, but a bit more cost effective for what we needed. So basically a back-end support for our sales guys so they could have estimators behind them, leaving them to do more of the on-the-road, face-to-face client stuff and relieving them of the admin work.
Mate, tell us a bit about, okay, so before you decided to grow your team and scale, for businesses that are out there in a similar position, what are some of the key things for them to consider before they go and scale through an outsourcer or a remote staffing provider, etc.?
I guess for me, one of the big tick lists was data security. We have a lot of sort of private information that we didn't want shared, and we wanted to make sure it was secured. So data security was a big one for us.
Yep.
So make sure they tick those boxes. And I guess the screening process, make sure that you're involved in that screening process. You're all over the interviews with the teams, whoever you decide to use. They were my two main points.
You were lucky enough where you happen to go and visit the offices. Is that something that you think is key to making a decision, or do you think if it's neither here nor there? How did you find that experience?
No, I think definitely go over and visit whatever office you're looking at using.
Yep.
Make sure that the people you want to employ are in a safe, secure environment, that they meet all the current legislations for whichever country you'll be employing staff in.
Yep.
I guess for me it's a moral thing as well, it's not all about money, but people that work for me I want to make sure are looked after, they are in the right environment,
Yep.
and they do have a good place to go.
If someone's out there and they're considering remote staff, whether it's outsourcing or remote staffing or per hour or project or part-time, full-time, what's a tip that you would give someone before they were going to go and do it?
I'd say definitely talk to the guys at AS White and have a look at their facilities and everything they do, because it really is like very, very high-end, high quality. The offices are amazing. Their screening process is amazing. So go through your due diligence, but go and have a look at what they do, and you'll be very impressed. And the other thing is, I think it's very important, the skill set that they have in the countries where these offices are very high for the amount of dollar that you spend. So just be open-minded. And
what was your perception before that started, right? Because ultimately there's a perception about this. You go, oh well, I won't be able to find someone potentially with a skill set that I need. I mean, before, if you try and take yourself back before you went and did a site visit and checked it out, what was your perception then?
Yeah, I guess you do. I guess Australia, we're a bit narrow-minded, I guess, if we speak generally. I think we have the mindset that there's no sort of other skill set out there that we have here. But I think it's very wrong. Like my two estimators are way overqualified for the role they're doing, which is so valuable for me, and the output I get from them is amazing. So I think it's just be open-minded, have a look, do the normal interview process, and for me it's no different than me having a staff member in Queensland or in KL.
Yeah, I think that ultimately having that real importance on integration, which you obviously spend a lot of time doing, I think employees feel really valued, empowered, but two, it's great for retention, great for broader company culture, and all the things that we talk about now, which are kind of common things that are spoken about now, but perhaps weren't only a few years ago. HR was kind of the top of the drawer, pull it out if something went wrong, whereas now I think people and businesses, and obviously why your business has gone so well, is that people are treating it with a lot of importance. So, mate, thanks for letting the guys know a bit about your story, and really appreciate you kind of giving some insight for those who might be considering growing their business, growing their team.
Cool, thanks mate.
Legend.